But we begin with the severe weather alert. The snow has finally stopped snowing pretty much, or after snowing all day. Still some flakes going out there, though. More than a dozen local schools have already canceled for tomorrow, most of which are in southeastern Massachusetts.
And several Rhode Island school districts like Providence, Warwick, and Cranston have delays tomorrow. Northwest Rhode Island got the most snow with 18 to 24 inches falling there. Burrillville had the most with 24 inches.
And just like the last two nor'easters we've dealt with, this one caused power outages. At last check, there were about 9,600 customers in Rhode Island without power, the bulk of them in Kent, Providence, and Washington counties. And in Southeast Mass, Eversource says they have more than 160,000 outages in the eastern part of the state.
And here's a live look at Route 95. This is by the Providence Place Mall. The snow has been cleared from the roads, as you can see right there. Drivers not seeming to have any problems right now. All day long, we've had a team of reporters covering the storm. They're standing by with updates.
But right now, we want to go to Chief Meteorologist Tony Petrarca. Tony, we're hearing the snow could be done in some places and not done in others, right?
Well, still some lingering snow, Mike and Shannon, on the back side of the storm. Storm is moving out, storm is winding down, but a couple of bands just refuse to let go. So still holding on to some snow, moderate to briefly heavy in parts of the northwest corner of the state. Anywhere from 10, 12, 18, even 24 inches of snow. Where else but up in the snow belt of the northwest corner of the state, anywhere between 22 and 24 inches. In downtown Providence, 10, Cranston, West Warwick at 17. The airport in Warwick just under 10 inches. And from westerly out towards Richmond and Portsmouth at 9.2, 13.5 Acushnet, and Taunton coming in with about 13 inches of snow as well. So snowfall totals pretty impressive in Foster, 22, Chepachet 21, Situate 16, North Providence, South Kingstown, Providence coming in between 10 and 12 inches of snow. And out across Massachusetts, anywhere from 12 to 18 inches. Wareham at 10.5, Taunton 13, Acushnet to 15.2, Foxborough 16, Franklin 18, and Blackstone coming in at 19 inches of snow. One thing to be mindful tomorrow morning, that most of the snow is gone, but a lot of these sidewalks obviously are covered in a lot of snow. So those students that have school tomorrow, you're going to see a lot of this. A lot of these kids forced to walk out on the street. Sometimes the snow banks are so high, kids coming around the corner you can't see. So when you're traveling these neighborhood streets tomorrow morning, be mindful of this. Extra kids on the road rather than the sidewalk, so be careful. There's our storm system off the coast of Maine, pulling away. Still a few more hours of snow to get through during the evening hours. We'll get a closer look, 7-day futurecast, all coming up in 10 minutes.
All right, thank you, Tony. And things returning to normal at Warwick's TF Green Airport. A handful of flights have arrived at the airport tonight, but the terminal was a ghost town today. The runway never closed, but many flights in and out of the airport were canceled.
RIPTA suspended bus service at 3:30 this afternoon, heeding to Governor Gina Raimondo's request for drivers to stay off the road. More than 30 bus routes have been detoured today. RIPTA says regular service will resume tomorrow.
Now, many communities had double-digit snowfall amounts today. Just about everyone had double-digit amounts, and the cleanup could take a little while.
Well, most schools in southeastern Massachusetts have canceled for a second day today. Eyewitness News reporter Caroline Goggin is live in Fall River with more pinpoint weather team coverage. Caroline?
Well, Mike and Shannon, it's almost the calm after the storm tonight. The snow has stopped, the winds have died down, and crews are really out in full force tonight trying to clean up in anticipation of tomorrow morning's commute. While they're doing that, a driving ban was lifted tonight at 9 o'clock here in the city of Fall River. Just moments after people who were cooped up inside all day, they made their way out. After an impressive nor'easter tore through the region, the city of Fall River is re-energized tonight. The coffee helps.
I was running an errand for a coworker, so he's drinking the hot, I'm drinking the cold.
Iced coffee in freezing weather. It's New England, and people can handle it. They can also handle the messy roads.
Honestly, they were really good when I had to come into work, so pretty clear.
But not all travel was easy tonight. Just ask New Bedford Mayor John Mitchell.
I was in Texas at the U.S. Conference of Mayors meeting, and I cut short the trip, and I came back and I flew to JFK Airport on Long Island. That was as close as I could get to an open airport, and so I rented a car and drove back.
All the while, he was on the phone with city police and DPW crews who were in the thick of it.
By and large, the plowing operation's gone very well. They still have a few more hours of mopping up to do.
Mayor Mitchell tells us the citywide parking ban will be lifted at 8 a.m. on Wednesday. City offices will reopen, but schools will stay closed. As for how much the storm will cost the city, the mayor says it will more than likely make a dent in the budget.
We've had some fairly volatile winters over the last few years, so it's getting harder and harder to budget for.
And back here live in Fall River tonight, there really is a ton of snow on the ground. New Bedford Mayor John Mitchell told me earlier today that his crews will stay out throughout the night trying to clear off these roads and sidewalks, of course, in anticipation of tomorrow morning's commute. But because these temperatures could drop and these surfaces could slick up tonight, the same could be said for Fall River. We have seen crews come in and out all night long on these main and side streets. Reporting live in Fall River tonight, I'm Caroline Goggin, Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Caroline. In Providence, public schools will be open tomorrow with a 2-hour delay, and a parking ban is in effect until 5 o'clock in the morning.
And despite conflicting reports, meteorologist TJ Del Santo confirmed with the National Weather Service that Providence did not meet the requirements for an official blizzard.
Now, Boston, Plymouth, and a few other Massachusetts communities were considered to have had a blizzard, and we'll have more on that later on.
Eyewitness News reporter Steve Nielsen has been riding out the storm in the capital city all day and night. Caught up with some people who were out and about today. He joins us now with more. Hi, Steve.
Oh, Mike Shannon, despite the fact that it wasn't an official blizzard here in Providence, it certainly felt like it earlier today. And despite that oppressive snowfall and wind we had earlier, this city was a lot busier than you'd probably think it would be, from crews clearing the roads and restoring electricity to kids out just trying to have a good time. It's a sight for sore eyes. Bare pavement throughout Providence. Despite oppressive snowfall throughout the day, crews were able to keep up. Brendan Moore and one of the countless contractors working hard to keep sidewalks clear as well.
Probably have 8 to 10 inches down here in the city, so it's not terrible. But it's heavy and it's wet, so it takes a little bit of time to pick it up.
It's a massive undertaking. You know, any 12, 14-inch storm is crazy.
Mayor Jorge Alorza was out of town for the start of the storm, but was able to change flights and drive a rental car from New York in these conditions just to get back.
But somehow, where there's a will, there's a way.
The storm started fierce, winds whipping through branches, tearing plastic away from buildings under construction, and causing utility poles to sway back and forth. National Grid studied that pole and worked on other lines in the state's capital. For those brave enough, they tackled the challenge of the day with a smile.
I love snowshoeing. It's great. It's really awesome.
Jonathan Derry clipped into skis to take on some hills.
No lines, no crowds.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to wait to go back up the hill.
That's right, yeah.
You just walk up.
Do it yourself, DIY.
During the storm's peak, 7-year-old Henry Spencer sled his cares away.
I like to make a fort and go sledding and have hot chocolate.
And Henry said he likes snow days, so good news for him. Providence schools will be on a 2-hour delay tomorrow. He'll probably like sleeping in a little bit. And also there is a parking ban in effect overnight so that crews can do all of the finishing touches to clean up these roads, despite the fact that they look to be in pretty good shape, all things considered today. That's so that the city can fully open tomorrow. Reporting live in Providence, I'm Steve Nielsen, Eyewitness News.
All right, thank you, Steve. And as Tony mentioned, Northwest Rhode Island, really the jackpot. Burrillville with 2 feet of snow. And this video was sent in to us by a viewer. It shows just how deep the snow really was. Looks like a struggle just to walk in it. Eyewitness News reporter Sheena Losciuto is live inside Breaking News 1 with the latest on the conditions in Burrillville. Sheena?
Hi, Shannon. We're driving on Chapel Street right now, and it actually looks like it's snowing. It picked back up just probably in the last 15 to 20 minutes. Now let's take a look at the roads now. The roads are actually looking pretty good. The main streets are plowed, just looking pretty wet. Now, we had no issues on our way here from East Providence. We do want to remind you again, though, to stay clear of snow plows. We've seen dozens working just in this area. And I also want to point out that these roads are much more narrow than usual because of the plows that have gone through. People are moving a little slower, but the good news is that we are moving. Now, we've heard from viewers all day, and just like that video you saw earlier, the snow piles here in Burrillville are just bigger and bigger by the minute. We've seen people shoveling tonight and basically just trying to get situated before heading to work in the morning. We took this video over at Freedom Park just in the last hour tonight. You can see just how deep the snow gets, and also hopefully you can see just how soft it is over here, so it shouldn't be too much of a pain if you are trying to get shoveled out tonight. Now looking back at the roads, you can see all the snow covering the trees, and we've seen street signs covered as well. And also, we've been seeing occasionally some large chunks of snow blow off, so you want to be careful of that as you're driving as well. We're going to check in with you guys in a little bit. We're going to check out those neighborhoods and kind of side roads and see how those are looking over here in Burrillville. For now, reporting with Breaking News 1, I'm Sheena Losciuto, Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Sheena. From the West Bay Mobile Newsroom, Eyewitness News moves over to Warwick now, where a Postal Service worker braved the storm to deliver people their mail. He was going about his normal workday while a lot of people took this snow day off.
Meantime, look at this T-Rex putting in some work today. This is video of Jerry Haynes of Gloucester helping his neighbor shovel their driveway and having some fun with it. I guess you have to shovel. Why not do it in a dinosaur costume, right? We shared this video on our Facebook page. It has been viewed more than 34,000 times. As always, you can count on the Pinpoint Weather team to stay on top of any storms coming our way. Tony will be back with his Futurecast in about 10 minutes, and meteorologist Michelle Muscatello will be here with the latest forecast starting at 4:30 a.m.